In the eastern part of Oakland, California, there's a neighborhood known for its activism, community organizations, and diversity. The Fruitvale has long been home to working-class families of color who have come from all over the world.
It's like a little village with its churches and its stores. The Transit Village has had a big influence in the Fruitvale community because I think it's really given it a very good center. Things were spread out so much before, and now, like when you come to the Transit Village, we have things much more concentrated. Within our own village, we have a Head Start, we have a senior center, a library, we have our own high school.
This is Fruitvale Village in Oakland. The idea behind Fruitvale Village is thoroughly modern, to create a community within walking distance of mass transit, a transit-oriented development, or TOD.
I think the Fruitvale is very vibrant. I think it's very active. There's always stuff happening inside the neighborhood. And I believe that that has a lot to do with who the people are that live here. The majority of folks who live in the Fruitvale are people of color, working class, a large amount of immigrants.
In 1977, when I moved in, the Fruitvale was a predominantly black neighborhood. I saw it shifting from black, white, working class to Hmong, Vietnamese, Guatemalans, Salvadorians, and the return of Mexicans.
I lived in Fruitvale all my life.
I actually really like walking around, and I feel good here. Like, I feel like I'm part of a community.
If I'm going to rate it from a 1 star to 5 stars, I give it 4 stars. 4 stars.
I started visiting the Fruitvale area because Latino markets and groceries that I need to cook for myself. And that's how I start searching an opportunity to open my own business.
I've always been really proud of the Fruitvale, and whenever I've moved out of the Fruitvale, I've always been drawn back to even just to come through and walk through the neighborhood just to get a feel for it, because this is like my home. So I don't know, maybe it's like that, the feeling that most people care about the area that makes it special.
Mm-hmm. We are now having nicer buildings, nicer commercial areas, and it's helping the people from the Fruitvale feel also proud about it.
With more people enjoying living and shopping in the Fruitvale, some observers believe that this area will become the next Bay Area community to be transformed by gentrification.
You know, when it comes to issues in the Bay Area, gentrification's really topping the list.
Many cities across the country are going through gentrification, a shift in the demographics of urban communities.
Will Fruitvale become like the Mission District of San Francisco, where low-income residents of color have been displaced by high-priced housing and long-time neighborhood stores are being pushed out for upscale restaurants? Residents, business owners, and community organizations in the Fruitvale say no.
Gentrification to me means people are being evicted from their homes. That's not happening here in the Fruitvale. I want to be very clear about that. I think there's a fear of gentrification happening in a vibrant community like the Fruitvale. Yes, that's a possibility. Is it happening right now? Absolutely not. I do not see the effects that comes with gentrification, which would mean not only people being evicted, but a specific cultural shift towards, what you would identify with hipster culture, boutique culture, or really expensive coffee shops. None of that stuff is really popping around here.
One thing is, everything's gotten more expensive, certainly, and the rents are high. On the other hand, there's some businesses that have been really stable.
Some of the stores that come, some of the restaurants that are coming, I don't think anyone's going to go to them. I think they're overpriced and kind of out of the concept of the neighborhood.
If it is true that gentrification has not yet hit Fruitvale, why is that? Some people say it's because of crime, and the media certainly supports that view.
Oakland, the dilapidated, crime-ridden, lower-income neighbor to San Francisco. Who would possibly move here?
Oakland's Fruitvale district is rich in culture, yet it's been plagued by crime.
Bloodshed in the streets.
Breaking news at the Fruitvale BART station. There had been a demonstration by about 100 people.
Oscar Grant supporters marched to the Fruitvale BART station.
The movie Fruitvale Station screened for the first time in the Bay Area tonight.
The movie's about Oscar Grant's last day. The 22-year-old was unarmed when he was shot and killed by a BART police officer on New Year's Day 4 years ago.
While Fruitvale may face challenges related to crime, this isn't the only or even the main reason why gentrification has not taken hold. Instead, this community has been able to maintain control over its own development and culture because of the strength and passion of its community members.
To be honest, this area is safer than what the media tried to create. Because everything bad happens in Oakland, the media comes to this area to promote those bad news that is not happening in this city.
Kids are more happy. Kids are hanging out. Kids are not scared. Parents are coming in the business as a family.
The way in which this community gets characterized or represented is far different than the reality of how it plays out on a day-to-day basis. Despite the criminal activity, there's always been a vibrancy of community, people caring about one another.
Fruitvale's community-based organizations, from the Unity Council that oversaw the development of the Fruitvale Transit Village to La Clinica, the Neighborhood Health Center, Arise, the local alternative high school, and the Native American Health Center, provide neighborhood residents a voice, choices, and power.
I guess we're always in the early stages of gentrification. I don't know if they can't get it off the ground, which is good, for the community. And I think the community kind of sticks together around that.
The Unity Council started in the 60s, providing services to a lot of the community. So a lot of the folks here are, they are struggling. At the same time, they're very active. So it's not like a hopeless community. It's a very hopeful community.
We have shops and housing. And the housing, they've been careful to make sure that there are a certain number of units reserved for low income, as well as disabled. It's kind of helped to make sure that people have not been squeezed out of their own communities, which is always a danger when you develop a community. You bring in lovely things, but then what happens when the community can no longer afford to live there? So I think the development of the Fruitvale Village was conscious of that. It was the community developing itself, as opposed to an outside developer coming in and telling the community what was good for it. The clinic is the same way. The clinic is run by a community board, and we're required, the board must be 51% patients. So ultimately our boss is the community, which is how it should be.
Unity Council has been one of the strongest foundation for my business. They are the one who had support me to grow.
I grew up as a teen mom. I had a kid at the age of 16, 17, so that kind of impacted me a lot. And if it wasn't for Native American Health Center, I wouldn't be the young lady that I am today.
A healthy community and a healthy society helps its citizens and residents get on track and opens up these opportunities for them, because again, the healthier the community is, the healthier everything is going to be.
In many ways, the story of Fruitvale is one of success. Longtime residents, people of color, and low-income individuals have been able to continue to call Fruitvale home and keep gentrification out. But the future for this neighborhood isn't set in stone. The challenge now is for the people of Fruitvale to find a way to continue their fight against displacement and to keep control in the hands of the community itself.
Given how the middle class has been walloped, affordable housing is just crucial. I would like to see not only job training, but I would like to see these tech companies that are coming in create what I would call starter housing.
What we'd like to see is a little bit more government support in helping folks buy property, making it easier for them to buy property, as well as get more loans to grow businesses. We do some business incubation here through the public market, but it's nowhere near the amount that's needed, right? Of course, we can incubate 12, 15 businesses, but we'd like to incubate 1,200.
It'll be interesting to see the impact that the Brooklyn Basin development is going to have on Oakland, because it's going to be a very high-end community. They're going to have stores like Chanel and Louis Vuitton. And Brooklyn Basin is right across the Embarcadero. So this is going to have a huge impact on the Fruitvale and housing prices and what the demographics of the Fruitvale will look like.
If gentrification does come, we'll have to really assess how many people in Fruitvale are willing to fight for their voice to be heard and what Fruitvale might become given a new influx of cash, right? So where is that leadership going to come from? Is it going to come from inside or is it going to come from without? And so I think that's something that a lot of folks need to look at as far as what kind of community they envision in the future and how much do they want to have a say in it.